guys, well, we're here to talk about money.
Yeah.
Woo! That's top tier.
I'm scared of buying them because I don't believe the whole book like 10 minutes.
Well, just sort of in general, how did you think about money before you came to university, and how has that changed since you became a student?
I think before university, I don't know what the situation was for you guys, but like for me it was very much like I didn't know that much about money. My parents just kind of handled all the accounts and I was just like la 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 la, can I have this, can I have that? But like once you get to uni, I think because a lot of the responsibility, like your parents aren't really taking care of you, you're doing grocery shopping, you're kind of like, if you're going out on a night out and spending money, like it's your responsibility to kind of manage that alongside like with food costs, with life costs, paying your rent, like I don't know, it becomes a lot more real. And I think having that like different concept of money, it just makes you feel more like an adult.
I had the opposite experience. Like I always kind of had that if I wanted extra things, it would have to come from like my own financial literacy, but it still is such a jump to then go to university and be in charge of like groceries and now also paying bills on top of everything. It was a jump for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I used to work like part-time, now I'm like 16, but like those pay are like very little. But obviously you live in the house, so like you don't really know how much you actually pay for groceries and things.
Yeah.
I know it's quite shocking when you go to the supermarket, you're like, oh, that's actually quite expensive.
Yeah, and how do you guys like manage your money? Do you use any apps or spreadsheet systems?
I'm an app girly.
Yeah.
As a
Any recommendations?
Oh, absolutely. It was
it?
definitely a change. I mean, also international. Getting a bank. I don't know if anyone else struggles with that, but like being able to have a bank account here was horrific.
Not easy to do.
It was so. I didn't get one for months. So. Life hack for anyone doing it, Revolut is my favorite app of all time.
I love it. You know when you're in Paris and
oh
stuff,
my
like
gosh.
it's
great. So
currency.
Yeah, so I have my US account that I then transfer every week because a weekly budget is how I do it, and thank you very much. But yeah, Revolut she's a good one.
Yeah.
She is.
So like what I do is when I get money from my parents, I'll transfer a portion of that money to my Monzo, and that's kind of my savings account, and then I use my other account as like my monthly budget, and then the money that I save up, it stays in that Monzo's, and I try really hard not to move it. Sometimes I have to, but I try really hard not to.
That's nice. Yeah.
But there are apps that you can also get that like help you budget and help you save as well as that.
Yeah, so if you are sharing a house with somebody, there is Splitwise, so basically just your home receipts. It's super useful. I think I've been using that for like 5 years with all my housemates now. It's great.
Yeah, Splitwise is good. And last year, to keep track of everything, this is by no means the most efficient option, but I just like custom made my own massive spreadsheet with literally every single thing that I bought, and it was really nice and satisfying because it would like work everything out for me and average things and have cumulative totals, and every time I entered something in, it would spit out an answer over here. It's really quite sad.
No, actually handwritten.
Oh wow, handwritten books. Damn.
Because my mom does that. Yeah, I do that. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
Not.
keep track.
I tried. Like I tried to do what you did.
Yeah.
It lasted me like 2 weeks.
It is quite. Yeah.
I've never tried. It's not my thing.
I suppose if you
my
go over your
boundaries.
budget this week, next week, you're gonna be more careful for your spending.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just having that number in your mind.
Yeah.
So do you think that you can still, on a student budget, your own personal allowance, you can still sort of have fun with that and have money to spare? Or do you find yourself right up to that limit every week?
It depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends on the week. I mean, some weeks you go out more, some weeks
like
you
if it's
don't go
holiday
out.
season,
Yeah, exactly.
You just finished exams, you want to celebrate.
Yeah.
Or during exams, you're
Yeah,
getting
not
that library every day.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I agree with that. I think it does depend.
Yeah.
What I try and do is if I have one day a week where I spend the extra money in my budget. Like if I have £10, I'm gonna splurge. I'll buy myself a coffee.
Okay. What's the best financial decision you've ever made as a student?
Buying a bus pass.
Oh yes,
bus
pass.
When you're so far away, I think you do. You use it.
Especially in Fallowfield. Yeah, Victoria Park not so much, but
Yeah.
Fallowfield, worth it.
My best financial decision is not buying bus pass. I live more or less 20-minute walk around uni. Every single year I was a matcher, so I never needed it.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah.
A bike as well, or just like
that would be true.
renting those little yellow bikes.
Yeah.
That's even cheaper than a bus pass. And
might get stolen
exercises
though.
in.
That's expensive to repair.
Well, if you don't buy a very expensive bike, it's not that likely to get stolen because it's
Yeah.
not really worthwhile doing
True.
it. So like my bike is like a Franken bike. It's so awful. It's made of so many random parts. I think the lock is worth more than the bike itself.
I also say, as a student, I do think I'm a big splurger. I think students should splurge more. Like, I don't know, if you're gonna go on a nice little trip, I think it is like it's worth it if you do something that will make you happy. Like if you want to go on a trip or if you want a coffee, little soul investments. I just think that is worth it as a
Treat
student.
yourself.
Exactly.
Hashtag.
This is a hard thing we're doing. Studying is hard. Hashtag treat yourself. I don't know. I just think that is important to have little small things that make you happy.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that because I think, like for me, having been at university so long, it's kind of like I just know that I'm never going to do it again. And like it's like in your final year, I think that really hits you. It's like it becomes a lot more about the experience than how much you're spending and how much you're saving.
I also think I didn't work my first year, and I feel like I should have, even if it was just like once a week, because you don't realize how much money you do go. Yeah, exactly. In first year, at least in my degree, it's not as like the same percentage. So I should have probably spent more time making money instead of just spending it. That would have been nice. But yeah, I guess it's just a learning curve is the biggest thing. Not learning about money before I came to university, I think, would probably be a big mistake.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I had enough experience, but it wasn't like completely on my own. So
see, I think that was my issue. I was really cuddled before I came to university. Like my parents, so I'm an only child, so they were very much like on me, and then like I was here, and then I was like, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Like, I think what you're saying is very, very valid. Like, it's good to have experience with money before uni.
And what I do is I usually work like for the 3 months of the summer, save up all my money, and then spend it throughout the year. So like seasonal working. Yeah, and it's nice. But my first year, I just I wasn't fully aware of everything that would go into being a uni student. So I think probably my biggest mistake was just not learning enough about it before I came here, especially coming and working on your own.
Any other money saving hacks to report?
I love those yellow stickers on like reduced priced foods.
Reduced. Yeah.
Go
at like 5 p.m. when they come out with all the reduced stuff.
Co-op
It's going out of date.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Too
Co-op
good to
has the
go.
best clearance.
Co-op has the best
Too good to go.
Too good to go. Too good to go.
There's also
That's good.
Oleo.
Oleo.
And they give it away for free, so it's the same as Too Good to Go, but for free.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Also, I would recommend getting a Co-op card or like a card.
Yes.
Loyalty.
Co-op card.
Co-op card is
the
amazing.
best
I
one.
love a Co-op card. It's
You
great.
pay £1, but you get your like £2 in the first week.
Literally,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you can use
Pays
it
for
like
itself.
forever. And you get 2 deals every week, and they're usually like pretty good deals.
Morrison's, every like 5 times you go to Morrison's, you get a little basket bonus, and you can get like £1, £2, £3 off next time you shop there. Yeah, get a Morrison's card.
Also
That's free.
Meal planning. I'll be the
Oh,
first
Just
to
generally
say,
meal planning.
if you learn how to meal plan, you're good
Yes.
to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or cooking with friends, you actually save quite a lot as well.
Yeah, and just buying in bulk in
dinner
general,
party.
like a massive like 10-kilo bag of rice, that's going to last you the whole year. Does anybody receive any like scholarships or bursaries or any financial support from the university?
I did my first year.
Yeah?
I got like entry scholarship bursary kind of thing, so I got like a once-off payment in my first year.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so that honestly covered my full rent for the year, and that was such
So
a relief for
There you
me
go.
and my mom, and my whole family was just, it was the best one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's quite a lot of different options out there for like financial support, so it's worth having a little Google because they're not always that easy to find.
True.
Yeah.
They even have one for the recreational activities
recreational.
now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get like society memberships and stuff funded by the SU.
And there's also the hardship fund. If you don't have money to pay rent or anything, you can just give you money up to 2K, I think. Something like that.
Yeah. Final couple of questions. How often do you look at your bank account?
Every day.
Every day?
Hoping money will come in. Money goes out, money will come in.
Random money.
Not money.
Once a week when I transfer the funds or when I run out of funds.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
more than once a
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same as I did.
Yeah, when I have to, I guess.
Or when
is
I'm
the
transferring
answer
money,
there.
like if I've done something during the week and I need to transfer one of my friends that's paid for something, like I'll look at that as well. Usually once a week.
But you're not just like obsessively checking it. And you're like,
I think last year I was definitely as a first year I was really often looking at it, but now I'm just kind of like, whatever happens, happens. It is what it is. Yeah.
I check mine. I don't necessarily check it, but I just like when I'm actively like buying something.
That makes
but
sense.
nothing more than that. Is money at university as scary as you maybe thought going into university at first, or is it less scary?
I think last year especially, it was kind of something that was always on my mind. Like it's something I'm always very cautious of.
Yeah.
Because if you run out, you're like alone, you know.
And there's people I know who are deep in their overdrafts.
Yeah. And that's
good.
a scary thing.
That's
a scary thing at 19. But I think, you know, as you get a hang of it, it becomes kind of a more manageable thing mentally.
Yeah.
Kind of being able to buy groceries, finding the right places to go to. And I don't know if like you guys have struggled with this, but especially coming in here as an international student, you don't know what the cheapest thing is. You don't know where to find anything of the things that you're used to. You don't know how the stores work. So that's always something that I think I was very aware of last year that put a lot of like mental stress. But I think kind of as you continue to go through it and continue to talk to people about it, open up the conversation, it becomes more easy to manage. Because now it's less on my mind. Like I check it once a week now and I'm kind of aware of where I stand. But last year was very different. It was always there.
I think it's also very important to be honest with your friends and just be like, I can't afford, I can't afford to do this. Like, I'm really sorry, I can't go out tonight because I can't afford it. Like, and most people, honestly, will understand. Like,
or they'll be like, don't worry, come along, I'll buy you a drink.
Yeah, someone's so nice. I mean, like,
especially people that you're going to move in with. I think if you are moving into a house, you have to be honest from the very beginning how much you want to spend, and especially when it comes to bills and rent.
Absolutely.
Like, that's I think. You have to get comfortable having the conversation about money because we're all in different places. But it's, you know, important to talk about.
It is.
We need like Monopoly money now.
Yeah, we should have.
Can there be like a rainfall of money in the video?